We often talk about habits we need to start to improve our lives, but today I'd like to talk about addictions that you must break to become your best self. It's not so early, but still morning. You've just put the kettle on after stretching your jaw with yawning, and while waiting for the water to boil, you go on Instagram. You scroll through your feed, and after a few minutes, a thought enters your mind. Damn, everybody's doing better than me. Here's what happens next. First, you notice that your kitchen looks old-fashioned and your tea tastes awful. Then you notice your neighbor jump into his brand new Tesla that he bought for his latest bonus. And remember that your net earnings with a bonus wouldn't even get you a smart. So you decide, that's it. I sleep too much. I work too little. I will give my side hustle more time and more attention and make it big this year. Comparison will steal joy from your life. Don't let it. Replace it with gratitude. If you're like me, you won't last long completing a daily gratitude journal. I'm grateful for my health, for my family, for my house. It's far too repetitive. You might want to try this instead. I keep a section in my daily calendar called What Went Well? 3 W's. I can easily say what went wrong with my day, but this invites me to flip the script and think of what went well instead. The best part, when I randomly flick through my diary much later, all I can see is the good stuff, the things that went well. Wow, my life is awesome. These are my feet back in January 2018. It snowed that day and I was pleased that I could apply cold therapy to my battered toe without any ice packs. These are also my feet, together with the rest of my body. About a week earlier, I'm at a running camp in the south of Portugal, and that happy woman next to me is Cindy. Cindy told me that when her son got married, her friends threw her a party and made a banner that said, "Welcome to the Bite Your Tongue Club." I loved running next to Cindy. We were both equally slow and equally happy to be there, completing 2 runs each day for a week. One of those runs was a loop run in a national park. You picked your distance. One loop was 4K, so I went for 2. The terrain was rough, rocky and hilly at places, so I wore my brand new trail running shoes. Before I was able to complete the first loop, I realized that something was terribly wrong with my toe. I did run longer distances before, so I knew the feeling far too well. Awful feeling. I was running the trail with my then partner, and he kept asking me every few minutes, "Do you want to stop?" Did I want to stop? Of course I wanted to stop. My toe was bloody throbbing with pain, and it was getting more battered every time my foot hit the ground. I wasn't exactly enjoying the view of the trees all around me. But I wondered what would happen next. I'd have to walk the same distance to complete the loop and meet our group. And I knew for a fact that physically it would have been much more comfortable, but mentally I'd only swap the discomfort of believing in myself for the discomfort of feeling defeated. So I kept running. As much as possible, I enjoyed the views and I completed the second loop. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. I've learned a lot on that run, mainly about different sizes of different trail running shoes. I'm not saying that you need to seek discomfort in every aspect of your life. I'm saying you need to seek discomfort in the area you want to grow in. Fail, fail again, fail forward, fail better. That way you'll know that you're growing. And to avoid panicking, use the 85% rule. Your learning will be optimized when you get things right 85% of the time. Use the remaining 15% for your mistakes. Both in my life as a money coach and in my private life, I hear so many reasons people cannot start taking action. Most of them, quite frankly, are the grown-up version of "my dog ate my homework" excuse. I once worked as a mental health support worker, and my colleague, who had her kids at a very young age, would always watch me signing up and completing courses in social care and photography and say, "I'm waiting for my kids to grow up and leave home. I'm glad I had them early, as I will have all this time sooner to do things I really want to do." I left that workplace, I became a photographer, and then came back as a temporary worker before starting a graphic design bootcamp. My colleague was still there. Her kids were leaving for college, and she told me, "I've always said I wish I had them later. I could have done so much in my life if not for my kids." Here's the hot tip. Don't use the kids as your excuse. They won't like you for that. This is a very quick list of perfect conditions I could have waited for before starting this YouTube channel. I need to learn how to project my voice better, how to speak without an accent, how to be funnier, how to be confident on camera, how to shoot professionally looking videos. Need to get much better gear, need to get a plant or two, need to poison my noisy neighbors, need to take a year off to actually do all that, and so on. I didn't have any of these before I started, or even as I've gone on. This is video number 1. Hi, it's Marta and welcome to my channel. This is video number 50. Hi everybody. In today's video, this is video number 150. Limited companies. They sound more complicated than they really are. In the words of Beastie Boys from a song that was about politics, but hey, it takes time to build. And sure, after over 160 videos, I still speak with an accent. Maybe it will go in video 300. There are people who know less than you, are less experienced or qualified than you, but hit goals and live the life you want because they take action. Don't wait. Decide on the goal you want to achieve and the next action you need to take. Use the Pomodoro technique combined with don't break the chain method. Set a timer for 25 minutes and work without distractions on your goal, on your task. Just one Pomodoro, not more. Then cross that day off on your habit tracker. This is the beginning of your chain. By the way, if you don't have a habit tracker, you can find one on my website. Then do the same thing for the rest of the month. Complete just one Pomodoro of work a day and don't break the chain. That's all. You'll be amazed with your results. I come from a country of hardcore complainers and live in a country of mild complainers. Complaining is the most socially accepted addiction, maybe after caffeine. On the surface, complaining does no harm. We connect with people when complaining, we vent, we offload, we feel understood. But there are two major problems with complaining. One, it trains your brain to seek out the negative side of everything. The more you complain, the more you find to complain about. And two, it puts your respect on the line. Good leaders don't complain. Full stop. Would you feel encouraged to work for somebody who constantly complains? I wouldn't. It's draining. And since you're the leader of your life, break your addiction to complaining for some self-respect. I admit I still do complain. It's a really bad habit that is hard to get rid of, just like slouching. Here's what helps. Wear a hairband on your wrist. Here's mine. Every time I complain, I snap it. This way I'm aware of my whining, and by simply noticing it, I make it go away. Pro tip, don't beat yourself up for complaining. Just notice it. It's like eating chocolate. The more you resist it and want to will yourself not to do it, the more you will crave it. Just assume that you're allowed to complain. You simply choose to notice when you do it and not engage with it. If you complain, go and try these techniques for a week. They will change your life. I was talking to my friend the other day, who's also a YouTuber and whose recent video got tens of thousands of views instead of his usual hundreds. And he told me that if not for me, he wouldn't have made videos for a whole year. So of course I had to use one of my all-time favorite quotes on him. The genius thing we did was that we didn't give up. This quote is my Mount Fuji. When you travel in Japan and you're on the Shinkansen, you can see Mount Fuji in the distance and feel its incredible presence. It's not just a landmark, it's more a kind of beacon. And that's what Jay-Z's quote is for me when it comes to my long-term goals. Quitting is the single thing that will guarantee your failure. So forget it. If you can't see the consequences of giving up, raise the stakes. Once a friend of mine wanted to run the 5K Tough Mudder. She signed up, but couldn't motivate herself to train. And so she called me and said she's giving up as she clearly won't make it. So I asked her, what runs do you need to do this week? And whose music do you absolutely hate? She told me her training schedule and then went on about how much she can't stand Justin Bieber. Okay, then send me screenshots of your running up after each training by the end of this week. If I don't get those screenshots, you buy 50 quid worth of Justin Bieber's music. Deal? She agreed and we repeated that same deal until she completed the Tough Mudder. Don't quit. Keep going. Keep showing up. That's 80% of any success. By the way, my YouTuber friend asked me which Jay-Z song that quote is from, and if you're curious, it's not from a song, it's from an interview he gave ages ago. And sat next to him was none other than Warren Buffett. Addictions make us who we are, and it's important to know which ones to keep and which ones to leave behind. Make better decisions. And speaking of decisions, here's a video about 3 decisions that will shape your life. And that is it for today. If you found this video useful or you enjoyed it, I appreciate you leaving a like and subscribing for more. Thanks for watching and I'll see you all in the next one.